Hello everybody. Hey, I'm going to do a quick update. If you've got an old fan laying around, by the way, I'm on vacation up in Missouri, little out of the way place. So if you've got an old fan, it doesn't run anymore, or maybe it makes a little noise, I'll see if I can help you out with that. If you've got a whole lot of this and you don't mind spending some of it, then disregard this. But if you like to hang on to this, then keep watching the video. What I'm going to say real quick, this works on the little fans that I'm going to work on today. It works on the big box fans. The only difference is most of the big box fans, the back of the enclosure is made out of metal, so you'll have to use a bit that's capable of drilling through steel. I'm from the South, okay? So everything else is the same. You've got oil light bushings in these. You just drill a little tiny hole in the back on the box fans. It's really easy. There's usually a bump right there where the bushing is. Tiny little hole. Put the little lubrication tube through there, and drop a oil in there. Anyway, I'll show you the rest of it on the video. But it's the same thing whether you're using a little bitty fan, whether you're using a great big fan. So let's just go ahead and get to it. This is the fan in question, and you have to excuse my workbench. I've got now, I think, 8 projects on here. But this fan is still good, but it doesn't work. How can that be? Well, if you see when I do this, the blade does not want to turn. Now, I'm going to plug it in real quick, and I'm going to turn it on. If I let it sit long enough, it'll probably take off, or if I give it a little help, it might take off. So, as you can see, you don't want to have to do this every time. So if you find one of these on the side of the road thrown away or whatever, this is how you're going to test it. And all that's wrong is the bushings. The bushings on this thing are dried up. It's got oil light bushings in it. They just need a little help now and then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out first off and kind of blow it off with the air compressor. If you don't have an air compressor, you can use this stuff. I have an air compressor, so I'm not going to use this stuff. And I'm going to do this outside because I don't want to blow dust all over my office here. So I'm going to go get this cleaned off a little bit. And what we're going to do, you can lube the front of the motor, pretty easy to get to. It's just got a shaded pole motor. And I'm going to drill a hole in the back of this thing. And when you drill the hole in the back, then you can put oil on the rear bushing. So I'm going to go blow the dust off of this, and I'll be right back. Now that we've got this cleaned up, I just need to make a mark in here somewhere as close to the middle as you can, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Now let's see if I can, that's pretty close. The closer you are to correct, the smaller the hole you can drill, but that's close enough. Now, what you use to drill the hole with, I like to use a Forstner bit. If you're familiar with those, they work pretty good in plastic. They're for wood. You can use pretty much any drill you want. Just don't go crazy with pressure because it's plastic. It will go through fairly easy. Like I said, the closer to the middle you mark that, the easier, the smaller the hole can be. What I'm going to lube this one with, I usually use 3-in-1. I don't even know if you can still get this stuff. I've had this for a long time, but it's got the little tube on there. So if you do a really small hole, you can go through the little tube, poke the little tube through the hole, and squirt a little lube in there. I use 3-in-1 oil most of the time. So let me get a little hole drilled in there. Be right back. Okay, as see if we can get a little oil down in here. A little bit on the front, and you can see it still doesn't turn. Get a little bit of oil in through. Let's see where I missed this just a little bit. Just a little tiny squirt. This is pretty thick oil, and see if it'll start on its own, or I may have to kickstart it. Usually a little bit of a turn there, it'll get the oil moved into the bushing pretty quick. And once it takes off, it'll take off. Here, I'm going to kickstart it a little bit. Maybe. And if you take this off, you can get to it to turn it. And that would be the actual ideal way. But I'm just trying to show you don't have to do this. And you take one of these little fans like this and put this oil on it and put a little dab more. Okay, I got the oil distributed a little bit. Now that's going to blow right on my microphone, probably. Now I'll show you before I did this, when I would turn the housing, the blade went with the housing. Should not do that anymore. So now see, the housing's turning and the blade is not. So this is going to last for some number of months. I don't know. The proper way is to take this whole thing apart, clean everything out real well, maybe reboil the oilite bushings. But, I'm not going to do that, because once every 6 to 9 months, I can just put a little drop or two of 3-in-1 oil in there. See, the fan, it moves easily now. So it's good for, I don't know, 6 to 9 months. Even if you had to do it every 3 months, once that access hole is drilled in there, it's super, super simple. So don't throw it away. If you find one on the curb, if you go grab it and it was doing like this one was, where the blade turns with the housing, you know that it's just the bushings are just gelled up. Oil is gelled up. It's old. They're dried up. And you can fix it real easy. One of the things I want to do in a future project, there's a little tiny bit of vibration to this. I mean, this is like a $16 fan at Walmart. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually balance the blade on this. See if we can turn this $16 fan into say a $40 fan. And that's for a future video. So if you want to keep up with projects like that, or if you like projects like this one, you might think about subscribing. And I want to thank everybody that's already subscribed. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the section down below. If you're interested in some of the audio equipment I use to make my videos, I'll put a link to that in my description. And appreciate everybody. Catch you guys down the road.